Forgive me as I talk about football for a moment. For those of you who do not enjoy football, I promise that there's a lesson at the end of the story. There was a coach at Ohio State. He was losing games left and right. I think he lost 10 games in a season, and he knew that his next season was his last season if he did not turn things around. An assistant coach walks in and says, "Coach, we're doing things wrong. We are trying to win games. Instead of trying to win games, we should try to run the perfect play every time, every play. If we run perfect plays, we'll win games." They did it, turned things around. Coach has an excellent career. What this is an example of is measuring inputs over outputs. As a creator of awesome projects that you hope people want and awesome content that steers people to your awesome projects, it's very easy to get distracted by the scoreboard. How many followers do I have? How many likes do I have? How many people bought my product? Those are important and they should be measured, but they're not something that should be measured daily. It's like looking at the scale daily when you're on a diet and exercising. If instead you run the perfect plays, if you diet and exercise the right amount every single day, and then you measure yourself once a month, you're going to see the scale go down. If you do a certain amount of content creation, which, as you know, if you've been in my content marketing before, can be as much as one tweet a day. If you do that perfect one thing, okay, and by the way, you don't need to tweet perfectly. It's okay to learn. I'm saying that the action itself is perfect because you're doing it, and you're doing it regularly. If you do that one thing every single day, at the end of the year, you're going to find out you have more followers. By the way, you'll also be able to look more clearly at what you did, what was the input in aggregate, what was the output in final. If you're looking at your scale every day, I'm down 3 pounds. I deserve a reward. I should have a cookie. You've ruined your diet. You look down at your scale. I'm not losing any weight. I'm depressed. I need a cookie. I know this because I've been through it. Okay? You've ruined your diet. Same thing goes with content creation. I'm not getting any likes. I need to shake everything up, or I'm terrible at this and I give up. You've ruined your long-term strategy. I am getting so many likes in this moment. I need to create this piece of content over and over and over again. And sometimes that works for a little bit. And then also sometimes it never works again. And you've ruined your whole strategy because you are reacting to short-term, in-the-moment data for a long-term strategy. The lesson here is that I want you to focus on the thing you can control, by the way, because you're not always going to be able to control the algorithm that shares your content. You're not going to be able to control your life that your projects must live within. There's going to be things outside your control. What you can control, what you can measure, and what you can look back and improve on is what you put in every single day or week. I'm not saying if you want a podcast, great, podcast once a month. Inputs. You're going to find out that if you do the input and you focus on the input, get a little better at the input, do a little more input, you're going to find out that your output 9 times out of 10 is going to be up. And if it's not up, or it's not up as much as you want it to be, whether you're measuring that every month, every quarter, every year, you now have an excellent set of data to base the decision to change your inputs. And you're going to come at it more informed. You're going to be doing it on purpose rather than reacting about it and doing it on accident. This doesn't mean it's not okay to experiment on ways to improve your inputs or new inputs. I try new things all the time, but I make sure I'm not doing it at the sacrifice of my current inputs, which I have continued to test and improve over time. For example, my Twitter screenshots. I did those, but I did not do those to the detriment of the memes I post, of the videos I post, of any of the Twitter posts that I post. Okay? I did that. I tested it. I kept testing it. I kept the input. If I reacted in the moment for the first time I shared Twitter screenshots on TikTok, the first 10 times, nothing worth happening happened. It wasn't until the 11th input that something happened. And by the way, That may never happen again. I am not changing my entire content scheme based on that doing really well on TikTok that one time. I'm putting it in the mix, and I'm going to measure the aggregate effect of those inputs at a set time interval, probably the end of the year. I wanted to give that to you because I know that you are probably having at some point throughout the process of creating things and trying to get them out to people. Either people are trying to hold you accountable to the outputs, to the goal, to the scoreboard, and that's not the strategy for you. That's the long-term strategy. But what you need to worry about, day in, day out, week in, week out, whatever, whether that's writing 40 minutes a day, podcasting once a week, tweeting once a day, doesn't matter. Do that, time in, time out, inputs, and then measure the outputs. Don't let other people measure it for you. Don't let them tell you, oh, this is the output you should be worried about. That's the focus. I know that it's really easy to get distracted by the goalpost, but that's what it is. It's a distraction. Okay? I just wanted to share that with you. I hope that everyone has an excellent 4th of July. I hope that everyone has an excellent weekend following 4th of July. And I hope that everyone's projects and everyone's content continues to improve and do well and have great inputs and measured outputs. Y'all have a good one.